Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 247 DIY. Today we're working on this 2024 GMC Terrain, and we've got three things to do. First, we got to do an oil change. After that, we're going to go ahead and swap out the winter wheels and tires for the summer setup. And then at the end, we're going to go ahead and install these WeatherTech no-drill mud flaps for the front and rear. So let's go ahead and get to work. So first things first, before I went ahead and got this up on the lift, I opened up the hood. We went ahead and cracked open the oil cap as well as pulled up the oil dipstick. That's going to allow the oil to flow more freely when we get to working on the actual oil change from underneath. So right up here under the front end is where we're going to be doing the oil change. It's a very simple oil change here on this 1.5 liter turbo. You can see you've got the oil filter right there and our drain plug right there. And it's a 15 millimeter wrench for the drain plug. All right, and then if I'm lucky, sometimes I can get the oil filter by hand. So after waiting a while for the last little bit of that oil to pretty much drain out of there, we'll go ahead and change out the filter. Now for me personally, when I do oil changes, whether it's personal vehicles or whatever, you can do all the research you want on the internet with like aftermarket oil filters, and you're gonna have 100 people telling you that you should use one filter and 100 people telling you that you shouldn't use that filter, and you'll drive yourself crazy. So I like to save myself the headache, and I just go with whatever the OE filter was. In the case for this engine, from the information I found on the internet, it's an AC Delco PF64, so that's what we're gonna be using on this. And don't forget to lube up the gasket on there with some clean engine oil. And we'll go ahead and tighten that up, just hand tight. They don't need to be super crazy tight. Then we can replace the drain plug. All right, before we go ahead and worry about dropping this all the way down so we can fill it with oil, since it's already in the air, I'm just gonna bring it down a little bit and we'll work on the other two projects, which is getting the wheels and tires swapped out, as well as getting those mud flaps on. So we'll get the winter wheels and tires off. That'll give us plenty of room to get the mud flaps on. Then we can throw the summer tires and wheels back on, drop it down, fill up with oil, and we'll be done on this project. And for the lug nuts, we're gonna be using a 19 millimeter socket. All right, one handy little tip that I like to do when I have vehicles with a dedicated winter setup and a dedicated summer setup, as far as worrying about rotating the tires, I just rotate them as the seasons change, and then I'm changing these tires out. So I just mark them with a piece of tape. This one came off the passenger front. So next year when it comes time to put these winter tires back on, these Blizzak WS90s are directional, which means we can only go front to rear. So this tire will go to the rear, that tire will come to the front. Same thing with those two tires over there. With tires that were non-directional for all-wheel drive, I like to go in a cross. So this tire would go back there, that tire would go back there, and then the backs would cross and come to the front. But it's just a handy little thing because you might think you're gonna remember maybe placing them in a certain order, like on the tire racks I have over there, but in a year's time you're going to completely forget which tire came off where, so the tape helps you remember. So now with those tires out of the way, we have plenty of room to go ahead and get the WeatherTech mud flaps installed. All right, so like I said, these are the WeatherTech no-drill mud flaps. They're going to utilize hardware that's already existing in the wheel well of the vehicle, and they're pretty inclusive as far as what's included in the boxes. These are precision molded to the vehicle, so they're an exact match to the contours of the vehicle. One thing that's kind of cool is the screws. The existing wheel well screws are a Torx bit, and they actually include the little bit for you, so you don't have to try to find one. One thing that's included in the kit that I'm not going to use is this additional protection film. And what you would do is, this is the vehicle they're going on here. If this was a painted surface, the mud flap's going to be resting and overlapping that surface. So you would just take the little strip, you'd clean the surface, and you would apply there's two little strips included here for both sides, and you would just apply the little strip through there, same way you would do with like a vinyl decal or whatever, and that would prevent any scratching of the paint from the part being mounted there, and then inevitably just kind of wiggling and moving around ever so slightly would cause some scratches over time on the paint. But because this vehicle is clad in this plastic trim, I'm not going to worry about it, and I'm not sure that that film would even stick very well to this sort of textured plastic anyway. So we're going to skip that, but if you have a painted vehicle, it definitely would be a good idea to go ahead and throw that protection on there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and starting on the front driver's side here. As far as mounting, it utilizes the 2 screws in the wheel well, like I said, one down there, one up there, and then that's all you need is just those 2 screws. So we'll go ahead and take those screws out, mount up the mud flat, super simple, tighten them down, we'll be good to go. And there we go. That's it all installed. Now we just got to go ahead and do that 3 more times. And with that taken care of, we can go ahead and get the summer wheels and tires thrown on. And another quick tip that's an important thing to note, the wheels that were on there were aftermarket BBS wheels. It was a package that was ordered through Tire Rack with the Blizzak tires, but it's important to note that different wheels use different style lug nuts, and you can see that there's a slightly different seat on this lug nut than this lug nut. This is the lug nut that comes stock on this 2024 Terrain, and this is the appropriate lug nut for those aftermarket wheels. So make sure if you're getting aftermarket wheels, you get the correct lug nuts to go with those wheels, and when you swap them over for the other set, make sure you go ahead and use the original set of lug nuts for the original wheels. All right, so now we can go ahead and put this thing back down on the ground and finish out the oil change. But before we go ahead and finalize that oil change, there's a couple things we have to take care of. And first is all we've done is firmly snug down those lug nuts with the impact. We need to go back through and we need to re-torque these lug nuts. We're going to torque these to 140 foot-pounds. Keep in mind that those aftermarket lug nuts that came with those other wheels, since they have a much smaller seat, it's not going to be the same torque. I believe if I remember right, I torqued those just sort of based on my experience. They're more of like a size that I see with Subarus, and Subaru lug nuts usually are around 100 foot-pounds. So if I remember correctly, that's what I did those other lug nuts to, but these factory lug nuts are 140 foot-pounds. And real quick, I'll just go ahead and take care of those other 3 wheels. All right, and then one thing, at least in the particular case of what we have going on with this car, we don't need to reset the TPMS sensors, because those wheels and tires that came off, we made a mistake when we ordered those and we somehow forgot TPMS sensors. So this is my wife's car. She's just been driving it for the winter. She just dealt with the TPMS light on the dash. The vehicle should now recognize that these tires are on after driving just a little bit, and the light should go away. But if you're curious, I'll go ahead and walk you through that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump inside the car. This being a push start, we need to get it into accessory mode. But we don't necessarily want the engine running while we're doing this process. So we're just going to go ahead and press the start button here without your foot on the brake, and you're going to hold it for 7 seconds. And that's going to put the vehicle into accessory mode. So now we can go ahead, we can go through the menus and access the tire pressure menu, which, this not being my primary vehicle, is probably going to take me a minute to find that particular menu. Then we're gonna go ahead and hold the check mark button here. You'll hear the horn honk twice, and you're gonna see the menu come up that says Tire Learning Active. And then with that in the learning active mode, you're going to look for which turn signal is on. That's indicating the tire that it wants you to start at. And you're gonna go ahead and use a TPMS learning tool. These are ones for like GM vehicles. They're not expensive at all. I don't think this is like any more than like 20 bucks for a tool like this. This particular one is the ATEC VT06. I'm hoping it's going to work on this. This is probably the newest GM I've attempted to use this on, but we'll find out here in 2 seconds. So all we're going to do is we're going to take this little red button right here. It's spring loaded. We're going to put it next to the valve stem, and we're going to press it, and the car should honk. And the car honked, and now that turn signal's off. Now it wants us to do this tire over here. There we go. And we come to the back, we can see it wants to do this one over here. And finally, we'll finish by doing this one over here. There we go. And then it's going to honk twice again to let you know that it's done learning the tires, and that's all there is to it. But now we can go ahead and move on and finish the oil change. And we're going to be going ahead and filling this up with 5.3 quarts of 020 weight oil. My go-to brand is Valvoline. For most applications, I just always go ahead and grab for a jug of Valvoline oil. They just recently came out with this new Restore and Protect oil. I use it in my Subaru Forester, and we're going to be going ahead and using it here in this Terrain. All right, so I've got that filled to the full mark on the dipstick. What I like to do then is go ahead and start the vehicle. We'll check underneath for leaks. Always just a good idea after you do an oil change, no matter how many times you've done one. And then we'll shut it off, and I'll go ahead and check the oil level again. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to add a little bit more oil because that oil filter will take up a little bit of oil that it wasn't before you started it because that oil filter was dry. And actually in this case, it made no difference. The oil is right at the full mark where I had it before we started it, so we're good to go. And as I was cleaning up, I realized that I almost forgot to show you how to reset the oil life on the vehicle. So same thing we did before, we're just gonna press and hold the start button with our foot off the brake for 7 seconds. And then we're gonna go ahead and navigate through the menus to our oil life. And we're just going to go ahead and press and hold the check mark button again until it resets. And there you go. You're at 100% to continue tracking the mileage left on this new oil change. And so that's going to be everything for this video, guys. As always, if you like the video, be sure to hit that like button. Feel free to leave a comment below. And if you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. Thanks.